is Steve from BC Barker Creations, and this is a video response to granddaddyHerps, who did a autobiography about his reptile life. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do an autobiography on basically how I got into reptiles up to now. I guess my earliest memory was when we lived in Texas. I caught, and I didn't know what it was then, but I do now. It was a green anole. I was probably 5 years old, and first thing I did was I brought it home and put it in a bowl of water, which obviously it didn't need to go in. But after that, it was probably a couple years later, we moved to New York, and I had caught a snake and put it in my pocket and took it home, and my mom said I could keep it, and I had it out and it got loose in the house and lost it. So after that I couldn't have snakes anymore. But all my life I've had frogs, turtles, lizards, all different stuff my whole life. I kept snapping turtles, anoles obviously, all kinds of tree frogs, all kinds of toads. I continued to go out and catch snakes. I just never could keep them. I caught snakes my whole childhood. I caught snakes, and I think it was in 1992 I graduated from high school, and I saw one of these guys in a pet store, and bought it. I picked up my first ball python, and shortly after that I got a couple more, and then I wanted an albino, so I went and had that albino, got a price for the albino, and then it was probably 93, 94, they were about $5,000 for an albino back then, I guess. That's the price I was quoted. So I didn't get an albino, but I kept snakes for a while. I ended up acquiring a boa constrictor from someone I knew who had to move and couldn't keep it. So I had a boa constrictor for a while, and then I had, basically my house was a zoo. I had chameleons, snapping turtles, 30 different species of frogs, anoles again. I had a 3.5-foot iguana that I took in as a rescue. Let's see what else. Trying to think what else we had there. I don't know. We ended up moving, and I basically couldn't take anything. I took 2 ball pythons with me, and everything else I gave away. I didn't even sell it. I gave it all away. And a few years later I ended up moving again and got rid of gave away the two ball pythons I had left from the original. So then I had no reptiles for quite a few years, and then in 2007 I picked up this guy and a female. He's a het albino and a female het albino from 8 ball pythons, and I just kept going from there. So now I've got 19 snakes, 3 tree frogs, a leopard gecko. What else is that it right now? Yeah. My mother, I did a kind of little interview with my mother, and to see what she remembered about me when I was younger as far as interest in reptiles. And I guess when we were in Texas, she delivered newspapers. I don't remember this, but she told me, and we ran into a rattlesnake at one of the places that she was delivering newspapers, and I guess I was just in love with it and didn't want to leave it and couldn't stop watching it. And I don't remember that, but I believe her. I mean, it sounds like me. So, but what else? And I've kept, all through my childhood, I've had all kinds of frogs, turtles, lizards, I mean, everything from box turtles, snapping turtles, painted turtles, red-eared sliders, mud turtles, let's see, tree frogs. I've had white tree frogs, white-lipped tree frogs, red-eyed tree frogs, trying to think, tomato frogs, Pac-Man frogs, let's see what else. I've had iguanas. I had a 3.5-foot iguana I took in as a rescue. What else? Let's see. Chameleons. I've had chameleons. Let's see. I kind of grew up, you know, like on a farm sort of with I mean, we raised pigs, goats, chickens, ducks, geese, rabbits, all kinds of animals. But these have always been my main interest, have been reptiles and snakes. First time I ever got bit by a snake was, I'm not even sure what kind of snake it was. I think it was just a water snake or something. And I had it in a milk jug, and my brother was trying to take it from me, and the snake got out of the milk jug and bit me right between my thumb and my forefinger. I remember that. What else? I wrote down some really memorable moments. We once went walking at night catching frogs, and I was with my mother, and my brother and my dad were at another place in the same location, but we had split up, and we heard what we thought was a baby crying. And once we got back together, I mean, we still heard this baby crying, and what we found out was it was a huge bullfrog that my brother and my dad had caught, and it sounded exactly like a baby crying. It was screaming for them to let go. So it was pretty funny. I wish I had a video camera then for that. My parents started me on the pulling turtles off the road. You know, I still do that today. I see any kind of animal on the road and I can help it, I'm gonna help it. But I can't tell you hundreds and hundreds of turtles from my childhood to now that we've pulled off the road so they wouldn't get hit by a car. And unfortunately, I've had them hit right in front of me where cars have swerved right over to hit it on purpose and saw me standing there waiting to get it out of the road. But that's just the way people are, I guess. I had boa constrictors. I got a whole list here. Let's see. Painted turtles, salamanders, newts. I think I was like 10, and I had a girl that was annoying me up the road that I didn't like or whatever. I don't know. So I chased her with a snake one time, and she never talked to me again. So it worked, I guess. Oh, I acquired a boa constrictor one time. A friend of mine. I had ball pythons, and a friend of mine had liked them so much he went out and got a boa constrictor. Well, he had the boa constrictor for probably about 6 months, and I never once saw him pick it up. I picked it up frequently, but I never once saw him pick it up or anything, and he had to move. So when he moved, he couldn't take it with him. So I offered to hold it for him, and it was a year later before I saw him again, and he just showed up and wanted a snake, and I said that he could have the snake, no problem at all, and I showed him where the enclosure was and told him, go ahead. And if he wouldn't pick it up. So I told him, I said, look, if you can't take the snake out of there, you can't have it. I mean, obviously you can't take care of it if you can't pick it up. So it stayed because he was, I guess, afraid of it or something. He would not pick it up for anything. So I ended up keeping it. I don't know, I continue to, I mean, I love all animals, but reptiles are definitely my passion, and snakes are at the top of that list. But, eventually, after we move, we're planning on moving next year, I'd like to start some kind of rescue. Take in some unwanted reptiles and help to rehome them, hopefully. But the name BC Barker Creations came from when I was younger. I had a camcorder, and I used to shoot my own little movies, and I came up with that name probably 15 years ago, at least 20 years ago maybe, and it just stuck with me, and I started my YouTube channel as a channel for movies that I made with my kids. And so I just kept BC Barker Creations because I had kept it for so long, and some people started to know it and stuff, so that's how it ended up BC Barker Creations for the snakes too. But that's it, I guess. But check out granddaddyHerps Autobiography. I'll put a link to his channel in the description, and thanks for watching.